There is a sense of anticipation, as if something long awaited is finally beginning to surface. A message is described as arriving that feels deeply personal, almost as though it speaks directly to identity and purpose. Within it, there is the idea of a name being acknowledged in a meaningful way, tied to a revelation that has remained hidden for some time. It suggests the discovery of forgotten or overlooked truths about one's past, especially connected to legacy, value, or what has been carried forward in life without full understanding. The tone of the message is symbolic, pointing toward a moment of clarity rather than anything physical or literal. It reflects the feeling many people experience when they sense change approaching but cannot yet define it. There is also the impression of guidance, as if an inner voice or higher awareness is encouraging reflection and openness to what life may be revealing. Instead of focusing on fear or urgency, the idea centers on awareness, patience, and readiness to understand what has previously been unclear. The message speaks to emotional weight that can build when someone feels they are on the edge of a personal turning point, where answers seem close but not fully formed. It encourages trust in timing and in the gradual unfolding of understanding, suggesting that what is meant for a person tends to become clear when they are prepared to receive it. Ultimately, it frames the experience as one of inner discovery, where meaning is found not in external events alone but in how they are interpreted and integrated into one's own sense of direction and purpose. They cried your name last night from beyond the veil. Archangel Michael heard it. He couldn't ignore it. He flew straight into God's chambers and pleaded, "Please, Father, let me deliver this message personally. If they miss it again, they might miss the very reason you created them." And God said yes. So here you are, reading this, at the perfect second. 3 minutes left until something irreversible is decided, but there's still time, just enough to say yes. Do not underestimate what this message holds. Archangel Michael isn't warning you out of fear, he's warning you out of love. Because what's coming isn't just a letter, it's an unlocking, a revelation, something that's been spiritually signed, sealed, and waiting for you in the divine realm, now finally ready to manifest into your physical world, but only if you're listening. And beloved, before we go any further, pause for 1 second. If your heart is still beating fast, if your eyes can't look away, that's a sign. That means this is meant for you. So please, hit subscribe, because Michael isn't done speaking, and the next message might carry the final instruction to claim what's rightfully yours. If you skip, you won't find this again. Now, back to the letter. This isn't an envelope you find in the mailbox. This is a spiritual decree from someone who left this world but didn't leave you. They had to wait until heaven gave them permission to speak. And that permission came just hours ago. Michael is not only delivering it, he's protecting it. Because dark forces do not want this truth revealed. There are people, even relatives, who never wanted you to know what was hidden in that letter, but heaven overruled them. Your name was carved into a heavenly scroll, and the angels are now activating what was delayed for decades. They tried to give this to you once before, but you were too heartbroken, distracted, surrounded by the wrong people. That's why it never reached you. But Michael says, this is the last time it will be offered. If they open this, their entire path will change. You don't even realize how close you came to losing it all, but God intervened. And you know who sent this letter? Someone who used to hold your hand as a child, someone who called your name in their final breath, someone you still dream about, even if you pretend not to. That person, yes, them, is the one who begged heaven for this message to reach you. Because there's something you never knew about your birthright, something that would have changed the way you look at your entire family, and now, it's time you find out. Michael stands with a sealed scroll glowing with divine fire. Not everyone is allowed to see it, but for you, he's opening it, slowly, carefully, and the first words written inside will make your hands tremble. It says, To the one I loved the most. I left everything for you, but they tried to hide it. I'm sorry you suffered so long. That one sentence was written by a soul you never stopped loving. They're not gone, they're watching, and tonight, they asked Archangel Michael to give you this truth. Not to scare you, not to overwhelm you, but because you needed to step into your divine assignment. You've been living under a curse of confusion, thinking you were forgotten, but that was the illusion. The truth? You were the heir. You always were. Time feels heavy when you sense something beyond ordinary. Unfolding within you, there is a quiet pull toward change, as if life itself is asking you to step into a new understanding of who you are and what you carry within. This moment represents a turning point, not of fate imposed, but of awareness unfolding, where healing and clarity begin to surface. What once felt lost or hidden can now be re-examined through a lens of truth and reflection. It speaks to the restoration of peace, stability, and inner strength that many seek but often overlook in silence. The journey ahead is not about sudden rewards or dramatic shifts, but about gradual alignment with deeper values and personal honesty. As you move forward, awareness will shape how you respond to people, situations, and choices. Some moments may feel challenging, yet they often reveal strength that was always present within you. The invitation here is to trust your own growth, remain grounded in clarity, and allow life to unfold without fear of losing what was never truly meant to define you. Instead, focus on what strengthens your sense of purpose and direction. Every step becomes meaningful when guided by patience and self-awareness. There is no need to rush toward conclusions or fear missed outcomes, because life continues to reveal itself in layers, each experience adding depth to understanding. Remain open to insight, and let time clarify what truly matters. Even when uncertainty appears, it can become a space for growth, reminding you that change often begins quietly before it becomes visible in the direction your life eventually takes. With steady inner awareness and calm understanding, over time, you move forward. You may feel tired, irritated, restless. That's the enemy trying to interrupt the delivery. But if you resist, if you just stay long enough, you will be given everything heaven promised you. But there's a cost. You can't go back to pretending. Once you read this message, you'll see the world differently. People around you will sense the shift. Some will hate it. Some will envy it. But a few will finally tell you the truth they were too afraid to admit. Because this letter exposes everything, and what's written at the bottom of the scroll. Protect this one, for what I left behind belongs to them, and only them, no one else. Michael is standing with tears in his eyes. Yes, angels cry when they see a soul who has suffered unfairly, who has been lied to, tricked, cast aside, but still kept going, still prayed, still hoped. That's why you're being rewarded, not because of perfection, but because of perseverance. God sees that. So listen carefully. Within the next 3 hours, you will either align with this miracle or unknowingly walk away from it forever. Not by choice, but by distraction. Michael says your phone may ring, you might get invited out. You may feel tired, irritated, restless. That's the enemy trying to interrupt the delivery. But if you resist, if you just stay long enough, you will be given everything heaven promised you. And what's inside this inheritance? Oh beloved, it's more than money. It's land, it's keys, it's names, it's legal justice, it's restoration, it's closure, it's answers, it's letters, old ones, never sent. It's memories you never got to hear. It's gifts you never got to open. And heaven is tired of watching you suffer without them. Michael says, enough is enough. My sword is drawn. The lies are finished. It's time. You're not crazy for feeling like something big is coming. That's spiritual discernment. You were born for this. You were born to carry something heavy and to finally be rewarded for it. Then listen closely, because this part is where most people look away. But you, beloved child, you were not born to turn your back on heaven. You were born to carry heaven's message on earth. And right now, that message is being handed to you like a flame, precious, fragile, eternal. Please, don't blow it out by skipping this. because what comes next will make you cry, but it will also make you free. The letter was delivered through fire, through prayer, through angelic resistance. It was supposed to be blocked. There were powers that worked overtime to keep this moment from happening. But Archangel Michael fought for you, and I mean fought. There were celestial attacks on your name. Someone in your bloodline tried to erase you from the book of inheritance. But Michael stepped forward in the courts of heaven and said, "You will not erase the one God has chosen. I will deliver the scroll myself." So now he stands before you, his robes glowing with golden light, holding that exact scroll. And it's heavier than paper. It holds decades of truth, generations of secrets, and one divine name, yours. You've always felt like something was missing, haven't you? Like there was a room in your life that no one ever opened. Like there were conversations you were never allowed to hear. That feeling wasn't wrong, it was divine insight. God was whispering the truth inside you before anyone on earth could admit it. Because the truth was dangerous to them, but life-saving for you. Now listen, the person who sent this letter from heaven is closer than you think. They've been trying to visit you in dreams, in songs, even through strangers. There are moments that feel unusually charged with meaning, when ordinary events seem to echo something deeper. A name heard in passing, a small object found in an unexpected place, or a sudden wave of emotion while walking through a familiar street can sometimes feel significant, as if life itself is trying to speak. In reality, these experiences often come from the mind's natural way of linking memory, emotion, and coincidence, especially during times of stress or reflection. People may interpret such moments as messages or hidden signals, but they are usually shaped by personal thoughts, hopes, and unresolved feelings rather than external forces. At times, individuals also become caught in narratives involving trust, legacy, or promises left behind by those they once cared for. These narratives can feel powerful, especially when emotions are strong, but they are not always grounded in facts or clear evidence. What feels like a shift in energy is often the inner mind processing change, uncertainty, or grief. Dreams, sudden mood changes, or heightened sensitivity can amplify this experience, making everything feel connected when it is actually a series of unrelated events. The important thing is to stay anchored in what can be verified and understood clearly, rather than what feels symbolic in the moment. Personal worth and direction are not determined by hidden signs or external validation, but by steady choices made in everyday life. Even when life feels confusing or emotionally heavy, clarity usually returns when thoughts are organized and grounded in reality, rather than interpretation. Ultimately, meaning is something we construct internally, and staying present with reality helps maintain balance, perspective, and emotional clarity over time in everyday lived experience more consistently. Michael says, "They've delayed you long enough. The letter was sealed with wax from heaven's altar. No one can break it but you. And the moment you fully accept this truth, the moment you align your soul with this message, things will begin to change faster than your mind can comprehend. Sudden financial shifts, unexpected calls, property deals being reopened, old wills being revised, family members acting strange, documents surfacing, and someone, the very one who tried to erase you, will suddenly reach out, pretending to be kind. But you'll know the truth this time, because you've seen what's written. You know what was promised. You are no longer the forgotten one. You are the named heir. This message won't stay open forever. And Michael is begging you now, please, don't leave this unfinished. If they walk away again, the divine door will shut, and the inheritance will remain suspended. He doesn't say this to scare you. He says it because he loves you, because he stood next to the soul who sent you that message, and he saw how much they wept when they realized you had no idea what they left behind. But now you do. Now you're aware, and heaven is watching. You might be thinking, but what if I'm wrong? What if this isn't for me? Beloved, The very fact that you're reading this proves otherwise. Do you really think heaven would allow you to reach this message by mistake? No. This is divine orchestration. Every second of your life led to this moment. And this is your confirmation. The angels are repositioning the stars around your destiny. That's how serious this is. You've crossed into a holy time. The number 3 has been following you because it's a divine code. The Holy Trinity. The threefold blessing. And now, the 3-minute warning. Family members acting strange, documents surfacing, and someone, the very one who tried to erase you, will suddenly reach out, pretending to be kind. But you'll know the truth this time, because you've seen what's written. You know what was promised. You are no longer the forgotten one, you are the named heir. This message won't stay open forever, and Michael is begging you now, please, don't leave this unfinished. If they walk away again, the divine door will shut, and the inheritance will remain suspended. He doesn't say this to scare you. He says it because he loves you, because he stood next to the soul who sent you that message, and he saw how much they wept when they realized you had no idea what they left behind. But now you do. Now you're aware, and heaven is watching. You might be thinking, but what if I'm wrong? What if this isn't for me? Beloved, the very fact that you're reading this proves otherwise. Do you really think heaven would allow you to reach this message by mistake? No. This is divine orchestration. Every second of your life led to this moment, and this is your confirmation. The angels are repositioning the stars around your destiny. That's how serious this is. You've crossed into a holy time. The number 3 has been following you because it's a divine code. The Holy Trinity. The threefold blessing. And now, the 3-minute warning. There is someone standing outside the heavenly gates with your name in their mouth. They still speak blessings over you, still cry for you, still ask God to forgive the people who wronged you, and still beg Michael to get this message through. Now it's here, and now the choice is yours. Will you stay numb and scroll past, or will you lean in and open your heart fully? Michael has one more thing to read from the scroll, a name, not yours, but the name of the one who tried to steal what was yours. And when he reads it, you'll remember something, a conversation. A moment of clarity can arrive quietly, almost like a passing thought, and suddenly, everything begins to make sense in a new way. What once felt confusing or hidden starts to look different, as if the pieces of a long puzzle are finally finding their place. You begin to realize that not everything that happened to you was random or simply bad luck. Some experiences may have carried deeper lessons, shaped by choices, misunderstandings, and influences you could not see at the time. The setbacks, the delays, the moments of betrayal or distance from others, each of them can start to feel less like punishment and more like part of a difficult but meaningful journey of growth. In that reflection, there is also a shift in power, not something given from outside, but something reclaimed within yourself. It is the recognition that your story has always been unfolding, even in silence, even in uncertainty. And while it may feel overwhelming to look back and question everything, there is also a quiet strength in realizing you survived it all and still stand here with awareness you didn't have before. The past cannot be rewritten, but its meaning can be understood in a new light. What once felt like loss can transform into direction, and what once felt like confusion can become clarity. This is not about hidden forces or sudden external interventions, but about inner awakening, the ability to see your life with honesty, compassion, and perspective. And in that understanding, there is a kind of restoration, where you no longer feel defined by what happened to you, but by what you choose to carry forward from it. If you claim your inheritance, you don't just get wealth, you get clarity. You get back the relationships that crumbled. You get healing in your body. You get angelic protection that wraps around your home like light. You get guidance so sharp, you'll know exactly who's lying to you and who's sent by God. But only if you say yes. The inheritance includes a property, a real one, on paper, somewhere with a key hidden in a box no one has touched in years. Michael shows me the image now. It's dusty, locked, hidden in a drawer that someone swore you'd never open. But now that drawer is glowing. The angels are surrounding it. Because it's time. And in that box, a photograph, a deed, a memory, and a final letter. It says, "To my beloved, I saw what they did to you. I tried to stop it. This is all I had left to give. Don't let them take it again. This is your reward. Not just for surviving, but for loving. Even when no one protected you." Michael's voice breaks when he reads those lines. And if you've made it this far, it's because your heart was made for this moment. Others would have given up by now. But not you. You stayed. You listened. You were chosen for this. And now, something holy is being transferred into your spirit. You may feel heat, chills, a heaviness in your chest. You may suddenly remember old dreams, or a place you haven't visited in years. That's not random. That's heaven activating your divine GPS. It's recalibrating your life, so you can find the very place, the very promise you were meant to receive all along. And yes, someone will try to stop it. They always do. But this time, Michael will be standing in their path. God has issued a divine block on anyone who tries to interfere. They will not succeed. Not this time, because you have finally aligned with heaven's clock, and everything stolen is returning to you, multiplied. You might start receiving calls, emails, documents, dreams that feel like instructions. Michael says, follow the signs. Your steps will be guided. Your spirit will know. You'll feel an unshakable pull to make a decision, and it will be the right one, because this time, your soul is being reconnected to divine timing. Heaven is so proud of you. Michael says, even when you cried alone, even when you thought no one cared, even when you said, God, do you even see me? I was there. I was recording every tear, and now I'm turning them into compensation, into restoration, into reward. Let that sink in. This inheritance isn't only earthly, it's eternal. It's the moment your identity shifts. You are no longer forgotten. You are no longer the outsider. You are no longer the one they pitted. You are the chosen one, the one who holds the scroll, the one whose name was protected in heaven, even when it was erased on earth. There is a line written in the book of life. Michael reads it aloud now, and the angels lean in to listen. And on this day, the seal shall break, and the air shall rise, and everything hidden shall come to light. This day was prophesied, beloved. Even before you were born, the person who sent this letter from heaven saw this moment in a vision, and they wept with joy knowing that one day, even if it took years, you would finally see it, feel it, and believe it. You're not here by accident. You're not crazy. You're not making this up. This is real. It's spiritual. It's timed. It's yours. And if you're still unsure, heaven is so proud of you. Michael says, even when you cried alone, even when you thought no one cared, when you felt unheard and wondered if anyone truly noticed your struggle, that sense of isolation was not lost or dismissed. It was acknowledged in a deeper way than you could see at the time, and every emotion you carried was quietly understood. What seemed like silence was actually a process of inner transformation, where your experiences were being gathered and reshaped into something that could later support healing, balance, and personal renewal. This is not limited to external outcomes, but reflects a gradual shift in how you understand your own worth and direction in life. You are not defined by being overlooked, nor by the moments when recognition did not come from others. Instead, those experiences become part of a broader unfolding where your sense of self grows stronger and more grounded. There is a feeling that what once felt hidden or unclear is now becoming easier to recognize within your own awareness, as life gently reveals patterns that were always forming in the background. Your journey was never random. Even confusion and setbacks contributed to shaping your path forward. At times, memories or small reminders from the past may suddenly feel more meaningful, helping you reconnect with parts of yourself you had moved away from. As reflection deepens, uncertainty begins to fade, and understanding slowly takes its place. What once felt far away starts to feel closer, as if your experiences are aligning into a clearer picture that brings acceptance and calm perspective. This awareness grows quietly, allowing you to move forward with steadier confidence and a clearer sense of purpose than before. For many, this becomes a turning point where inner peace begins replacing old emotional weight with gentle, lasting understanding. It was the final clue. They knew this day would come. They prayed for it. And now, it's here. Then stay with me, beloved, because Archangel Michael hasn't finished unfolding the divine scroll, and the final part, the part you're about to hear, will shift something deep inside your spirit. It's the part that reveals the hidden enemy, the buried truth, the divine reward, and the heavenly confirmation you've been secretly asking for. Right now, time is bending. Michael says the 3-minute countdown has already begun in heaven. But here's what most don't understand. When God counts down, He's not rushing you, He's aligning you. Because divine moments don't wait for human hesitation. They arrive exactly when your soul is ready, and not one moment earlier. You weren't ready before, but now, you are. Now your spirit is open. Now your heart is softened. Now the angels have permission to deliver what they've been holding back for years. So listen closely. The one who betrayed you, the one who smiled in your face and blocked your blessings behind your back, is about to be exposed. Their name is on the last line of the scroll, but Michael isn't giving it to you out of revenge. He's giving it to you so you can finally break the tie, because without knowing who delayed your inheritance, you'd always keep doubting your worth. But now, with the truth unveiled, you'll never question yourself again. Michael reads the name. You feel it in your gut. You've suspected this person before, but your love for them clouded your judgment. You kept giving chances, kept being kind, kept praying they would change, and they didn't. But it wasn't your job to fix them. It was your calling to outgrow them. And now, you finally have. You're no longer bound to what they said. You're bound to what God wrote about you. And God never lies. He declared your worth long before anyone else tried to define it. And heaven says, your reward is not delayed, it's being released. In the next few days, you may begin noticing strange synchronicities. People from your past suddenly reappear. A lawyer's name you've never heard before starts showing up. Someone close to you starts acting nervous when inheritance, property, or will-related topics come up. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. Michael says you'll receive 3 signs within the next 72 hours. Write them down. Don't ignore them. They are keys. The spiritual locks are being removed from your destiny, and what you'll step into will look nothing like what you've been through. You'll walk differently, think differently, speak differently, because now, you're no longer living in the dark. You know who you are, you know what you carry, and you know who in heaven fought for you to remember it. The letter, the divine inheritance, is not symbolic. It's literal. Something physical is coming, something that holds value, weight, and transformation. It may be in the form of money, a house, an item, a voice message, a bank transfer, or even a person arriving with unexpected news. But it's coming, and heaven will make sure it reaches you. But only if you remain in alignment, only if you don't skip this moment, only if you guard your spirit from the distractions that are about to come. Because the moment you say yes in your heart, fully, boldly, unshakably, everything will move. And the last line of the scroll, Michael closes his eyes and reads it slowly, almost like a prayer. To the one I loved most, if they are reading this, it means heaven won. Give them everything I was never allowed to say. Give them everything I left behind. I trust only them. And with that, the scroll glows, the seal breaks, and your name is permanently written on the book of divine inheritance. This is not just a message. This is a spiritual unlocking. The wait is over. Archangel Michael has spoken, and the letter is now yours. Then let your heart stay open, because what Archangel Michael is about to say will complete everything. This is the final layer. There comes a quiet, almost unexplainable turning point in life, where everything feels suspended between what has been and what is about to begin. Michael stands in that moment now, holding the unfolding message that seems to shimmer with a light beyond anything ordinary. It feels less like something seen, and more like something understood deep within the soul. The illumination is not coming from a distant place above, but from within you, as if something long dormant has finally awakened and begun to respond. This is not about arrival through lineage or luck, but about a path shaped by endurance, patience, and the quiet strength of continuing forward even when nothing made sense. Every loss that once felt random now carries a different weight, as though each moment was part of a hidden alignment rather than chance. What once felt like doors closing now resembles redirection, guiding you away from paths that were never meant to define you. The struggles that seemed to strip things away may now be seen as unseen protection, preserving you from outcomes you could not yet understand. Even the silence, the waiting, and the unanswered questions begin to form a pattern that feels intentional rather than empty. And now, what follows is not loud or chaotic, but steady and profound, like a shift unfolding beneath the surface of everything familiar. There is a sense that what is ahead is not simply given, but revealed gradually through awareness, readiness, and inner growth. It is less about external reward and more about internal clarity, aligning with purpose, where every step forward feels guided rather than forced, and where what comes next carries meaning that has been forming all along. Michael says you'll feel them like instincts. You'll know what steps to take, where to go, who to talk to, what door to knock on, what paper to sign. Trust it. It won't feel logical, but it will feel right. That's the angelic confirmation. The inheritance you're about to receive isn't just a result of blood. It's a result of obedience, of resilience, of pain that never made sense. Michael reveals that the things that were taken from you, the relationships, the chances, the peace, they weren't accidents. They were interceptions. Someone spiritually blocked you. Someone whispered prayers against you. Someone lit candles in the dark, asking that your name be forgotten. But heaven never forgot. And now, every attempt to erase you is being reversed. Every moment of confusion is turning into clarity. Every no that crushed you is becoming a divine yes. Because God always saves his greatest rewards for those who endure quietly. You didn't scream for attention. You didn't beg people to believe in you. You waited. You grew. And now, you're being crowned in silence. The letter includes a divine map. No, not one with street names, but one with spiritual instructions. Michael says you'll feel them like instincts. You'll know what steps to take, where to go, who to talk to, what door to knock on, what paper to sign. Trust it. It won't feel logical, but it will feel right. That's the angelic confirmation. And beloved, prepare yourself, because people around you will start to act strange. Some will distance themselves. Some will try to pull you back into old habits. Some will suddenly start asking you questions about your family, your finances, your future. Michael says, don't reveal everything. Some people are not curious, they are watching. Some are not celebrating you, they are testing you. Protect what heaven gave. This inheritance isn't just about wealth, it's about wisdom. God is placing power in your hands because you've proven that you won't misuse it. You're not greedy, you're not selfish. That's why you're being trusted. That's why you're the one reading this, and not someone else. Because only a few can be given this kind of spiritual access. And you, beloved, were chosen. Michael says one final thing before the scroll closes. Tell them this. If they knew who they truly were, they would never beg for love again. they would never question their path again. They would never lower their light again, because they carry something that even the enemy fears. And now, your angels are taking position. Your inheritance is in motion. Your future is shifting. And your soul, it's awakening. This letter, this message, is your release. Not just from poverty, but from pain. Not just from doubt, but from destiny confusion. And not just from generational curses, but into generational blessing. Your children's children will be blessed because you said yes today. Michael folds the scroll now, but the energy still lingers. Why? Because the scroll may close, but the portal it opened in your life has just begun. Expect visits. Expect dreams. Expect downloads in your spirit. At 3:33 a.m. Expect money to come from strange sources. Expect the unexpected, but do not fear it. Heaven is taking care of you now. And the person who sent this message from beyond, they're smiling. Not because they're gone, but because they finally reached you. And now their soul is resting, because their final mission is complete. All because you opened this. All because you stayed. All because you listened. Now it's your turn. Live like the air you are. Speak like the air you are. Walk like the air you are. And remember, Archangel Michael is still standing behind you, sword drawn, wings stretched wide, watching, protecting, delivering. And when they ask how it all changed, you'll smile and say, it all started with a letter. And now, beloved, there is one final word heaven has asked Archangel Michael to give you, a secret that's been hidden since before you were even born. Michael speaks slowly now, not because he's unsure, but because he knows this is the moment where everything clicks into place for you. He leans close and says, you were never supposed to struggle this long. Let that sink in. You were never meant to move through overwhelming moments feeling alone or unseen. Life can sometimes feel heavier than it should, especially when you're trying to hold everything together on the outside, while dealing with quiet struggles on the inside. Whatever you went through wasn't a reflection of your worth or your destiny. It was a phase shaped by pressure, misunderstandings, and influences that didn't fully align with your truth. For a time, it may have felt like your own voice was drowned out by doubt or outside opinions, making it harder to trust yourself. But that stage doesn't define you anymore. Something in you has started to shift, like a slow return to clarity and inner strength. There's a renewed sense of awareness, as if you're beginning to see yourself with more honesty and less fear. The parts of you that felt distant or dimmed are becoming active again, bringing a quiet confidence back into your choices and perspective. You are not broken, nor are you defined by past setbacks or misunderstandings. Instead, you are evolving through them, gathering insight that can't be taken away. Life may begin to feel more open in unexpected ways, where opportunities, conversations, and decisions start aligning more naturally. Even your intuition may feel sharper, helping you read situations with greater ease and caution. There's a sense that what once felt blocked is slowly loosening, allowing room for stability, clarity, and renewed direction. What matters most now is that you recognize your own growth and continue moving forward without returning to self-doubt. Once you see this change, it becomes part of how you understand yourself going ahead, a gift only activated when you've been lied to long enough. And now that yours is online, your circle may grow smaller, but your peace will multiply. And this is important. The inheritance you carry now is not just yours. It's for the people watching you. The ones who secretly admire your strength. The ones who don't have the courage yet to believe in miracles. They're watching to see if this is real. And your breakthrough will be their proof. Heaven didn't just give this to you for you. You are the vessel. When you walk in your blessing, others will realize that they too were never abandoned. You are the sign. You are the symbol. You are the reminder that God remembers. And Michael wants you to say this out loud tonight, even if it's just a whisper. I accept my inheritance. I forgive those who tried to block it. I am ready for the life heaven wrote for me. Speak it, feel it, breathe it in, because as soon as you do, you will notice something changing in the air, a stillness, a peace, an energy wrapping around your room. That's not imagination, that's angels, sealing what was just given, protecting what was just activated, covering what just awakened inside you. And now, Michael steps back, his message delivered, his promise fulfilled, but he leaves you with one final instruction. Do not forget who you were before the world made you doubt it. Go back to that. That is where your power lives. That is where your miracle begins. And beloved, the rest of your story, it's going to be glorious, because the letter that was hidden is now yours. The secret that was buried is now exposed. Heaven didn't just give this to you for you. You are the vessel. When you walk in your blessing, others will realize that they too were never abandoned. You are the sign. You are the symbol. You are the reminder that God remembers. And Michael wants you to say this out loud tonight, even if it's just a whisper. I accept my inheritance. I forgive those who tried to block it. I am ready for the life heaven wrote for me. Speak it, feel it, breathe it in, because as soon as you do, you will notice something changing in the air. A stillness, a peace, an energy wrapping around your room. That's not imagination. That's angels, sealing what was just given, protecting what was just activated, covering what just awakened inside you. And now, Michael steps back, his message delivered, his promise fulfilled, but he leaves you with one final instruction. Do not forget who you were before the world made you doubt it. Go back to that. That is where your power lives. That is where your miracle begins. And beloved, the rest of your story, it's going to be glorious, because the letter that was hidden is now yours. The secret that was buried is now exposed. The inheritance that was delayed is now released, and the angels that were waiting are now rejoicing, because you made the right choice. You opened this, and heaven opened everything for you in return. And so, beloved, as heaven's winds begin to settle, and the final echoes of this sacred message ring through your soul, Archangel Michael offers one last silent bow, not out of duty, but out of love. Because you didn't just listen, you received. You didn't just open your eyes, you opened your spirit. And that changes everything. You have no idea the ripple effect this moment just caused in the spiritual realm. A chain has been broken, a curse has been lifted, a forgotten promise has been reactivated, and your name is now surrounded in light. Michael looks at you now not as a stranger, but as a divine companion, the one who has watched your story unfold from the shadows, holding back tears every time you questioned your worth. And now he smiles, because you finally see what he's seen all along. You were always worthy. You were always chosen. You were always the rightful heir. So much of your pain, beloved, came from not knowing that. But now, you know, and nothing, no one, can take that from you again. The spiritual inheritance has been claimed, the letter has been opened, and the soul who sent it, they are dancing in heaven. You may feel them tonight, in a breeze, in a whisper, in a flickering light. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. There's a quiet sense of reassurance running through everything being described here, as if a deeper protection is guiding each step forward. It speaks about unseen support continuing to surround a person in the days ahead, with life gently offering signals that feel meaningful in unexpected ways. Small coincidences, familiar reminders, repeating patterns, or moments that arrive right when they're needed most. These experiences are portrayed not as ordinary chance, but as personal encouragement that helps someone feel more aware of their direction and inner strength. Over time, this awareness begins to shape behavior and perspective. Choices become clearer, boundaries grow stronger, and situations that once felt difficult to handle start to lose their weight. There is also a sense of positive change building in the background, opportunities slowly reappearing, conversations opening new doors, and long-delayed matters finally moving toward resolution. Even without dramatic external shifts, there is an emphasis on internal steadiness, like a growing confidence that things are aligning in a better way. The message also highlights how personal growth can naturally influence the environment around someone, changing how they are perceived and how they respond to life itself. What once felt confusing may begin to feel more structured, and what once felt distant may start to feel reachable again. At its core, it's about moving forward with trust, staying grounded through uncertainty, and recognizing progress in both visible and subtle forms. Instead of focusing on conflict or opposition, the focus stays on healing, forward movement, and the quiet strength that comes from believing that life is gradually unfolding in a meaningful direction. Even when the full picture is not yet clear, you are the walking letter. And the scroll? It is no longer in Michael's hands. It's in yours. Signed, sealed, delivered. And now, beloved, as heaven's final light wraps gently around your spirit, Archangel Michael whispers the words that were once forbidden to be spoken aloud. Words that carry the full weight of every miracle you were denied, every truth you were shielded from, every blessing that was delayed. He says, "You are not just the heir, you are the keeper of what was lost." Let that echo in your heart. You are the keeper of sacred things, of ancestral prayers, of divine blueprints written before time began, of a future that someone else tried to write in your place but failed, because your soul refused to die, because your heart still whispered, yes, in the dark, because even when your knees were shaking, you still stood, even when you were unseen, you still believed, and heaven took notice. You see, child, this wasn't just a message, it was a transaction, a heavenly agreement, a spiritual unlocking. And when you reach the end of this scroll, something ancient opened. You'll feel it, in the silence, in your sleep, in the way strangers look at you differently, in the sudden clarity that fills your mind. You'll wake up one morning soon and realize you're not the same. Because heaven cannot touch a soul and leave it unchanged. And heaven just touched you. Archangel Michael turns now, slowly. His wings stretch wide like golden fire, shielding your future from the spirits that once tried to bind it. And in his final gaze toward you, he says something that breaks the veil. This wasn't a warning, this was an invitation. And you answered. And that's what separates you from the rest. Others saw the signs and scrolled past. Others felt the pull and still doubted. But you heard the voice and leaned in. You listened. You trusted. You said yes. And now heaven is rewarding you in ways even your imagination hasn't caught up with yet. What's coming is unexplainable. You'll receive emails with words like, approved. You'll find papers with your name that were once lost. You'll have people apologize out of nowhere. You'll sense the air changing in your home, heavier in peace, lighter in confusion, because the atmosphere is responding to your alignment. And beloved, never again will you walk in fear. Never again will you chase people to understand you. Never again will you lower your frequency to match rooms you've outgrown. You are ascending. You are activating. You are now the living fulfillment of a heavenly promise. So tonight, when the world grows quiet, do this. Light a candle, close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and whisper to God, and heaven just touched you. Archangel Michael turns now, slowly. His wings stretch wide like golden fire, shielding your future from the spirits that once tried to bind it. And in his final gaze toward you, he says something that breaks the veil. This wasn't a warning, this was an invitation, and you answered. And that's what separates you from the rest. Others saw the signs and scrolled past. Others felt the pull and still doubted. But you heard the voice and leaned in. You listened. You trusted. You said yes. And now heaven is rewarding you in ways even your imagination hasn't caught up with yet. What's coming is unexplainable. You'll receive emails with words like, approved. You'll find papers with your name that were once lost. You'll have people apologize out of nowhere. You'll sense the air changing in your home, heavier in peace, lighter in confusion, because the atmosphere is responding to your alignment. And beloved, Never again will you walk in fear. Never again will you chase people to understand you. Never again will you lower your frequency to match rooms you've outgrown. You are ascending. You are activating. You are now the living fulfillment of a heavenly promise. So tonight, when the world grows quiet, do this. Light a candle, close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and whisper to God, "Thank you for trusting me with what others rejected. I am ready. I receive this, and I will never, ever skip my miracle again." Then listen, because you just might hear Michael's voice again, not in thunder, but in stillness. And it will sound something like this. "You've finally arrived, and we've been waiting for you. Now the scroll is closed, the message is sealed, the angels are singing, and your new life, it's already begun. And now, beloved, as the stars above you begin to shimmer with new purpose, and the realm between earth and heaven glows faintly with golden breath, Archangel Michael speaks one final time, not with warning, not with urgency, but with a deep, eternal calm. His voice now carries the sound of completion, of destiny fulfilled, of your name written, spoken, protected in the language of angels. Because you didn't just hear this message, you became it. You are the living scroll now. This feels like a reminder that even when life feels uncertain, there are moments that arrive at the right time and help a person see themselves differently. It speaks to the idea that every individual carries unseen strength shaped by experience, memory, and the quiet hopes of those who came before them. Even when someone feels unworthy, stuck, or lost, change can begin in subtle ways, often through a shift in perspective rather than an external miracle. What once felt heavy can slowly begin to feel lighter when a person chooses to acknowledge it instead of carrying it in silence. The message also reflects how growth is not about suddenly becoming someone new, but about uncovering qualities that were always there but overlooked. As clarity builds, decisions become easier, and paths that once felt confusing start to make more sense. Relationships and opportunities may also feel different as awareness deepens, allowing a person to move away from what drains them and toward what supports them. There is also a strong theme of becoming the best version of oneself, not for others, but for personal peace and future stability. In this sense, inheritance is not material but emotional and psychological strength passed through time and experience. As this understanding settles, life may feel more grounded, calmer, and intentional. The journey ahead is still uncertain, but it is no longer faced with the same fear. Instead, it is approached with patience, awareness, and quiet confidence that change is already underway within. Each moment becomes an invitation to trust yourself more deeply and continue building a life shaped by clarity, balance, and steady inner growth and meaningful direction every single day ahead. Gently